This stupid, simple thing freaking doubled sales. You ain't going to hear this in sales training. You aren't going to find this on sales blogs. You aren't going to read this in sales books. But if you're a coach, you sell info products, you have an online business, maybe you have a hybrid online offline business. What if you could double sales with just something that's so stupid simple that like no one ever knows about it or talks about it or teaches it? Well, that's what we're talking about today. My name is Marlon. Setter's been doing this full time since 1997, and you can get my free report on how I sold 70,000 plus products online at marlonsnews.com/70K. And if you want to get my newsletter, you can trial of my newsletter. You can go to trymmm.pro. Let's jump into the content right now. So here is the deal. I had a client worth $600 million. His name was Walter Itsy Bitsy Haley. He was out here in Hunt, Texas, which is approximately 45 minutes from where I currently live in San Antonio. Walter had a ranch out there. He could have about, I think, 100, maybe 200 people in his den, and he would hold seminars there. He had a telemarketing room for about 10 telemarketers in his basement. And they would pick up people from the San Antonio airport and drive them out to Hunt, Texas, because, you know, it's up in the hill country. It's not the easiest drive. And so they would pick them up in these minivans. Now, and these are dentists, these are doctors. So what they found out was the people, the doctors, where Steve Anderson, who was the CEO of the company, Steve would drive them out and pick them up personally. Those people, Steve told me the number. This has been a long time ago. I don't remember exactly, but it was at least like double or triple the sales. The impact on sales was unbelievable because of the first impression. Because of the first impression, right? Now, people remember a first impression a long freaking time. Like yesterday, I was talking to my wife, and she reminded me of something. When she flew in the first time, and I picked her up at the airport, I took like the long way home because I hadn't had a cataract removed from this eye yet. I just had this done like in December, and I was scared to drive on the highways, but took forever to get home. And she remembered that. It's like, what, 4 years later now, and she still remembers that. I'll tell you what, I also have a book, another book, and it was talking about when they would give like an unexpected gift to new prospects or to a brand new customer, but they would give them something really nice they weren't expecting. The increase in sales, I believe, was 2.5 times. And the reason was because of the first impression. You ain't ever heard this in sales training. Oh, you want to double your sales? Make a really good first impression. You ain't heard that. I mean, you've heard, oh, yeah, I know about first impressions, Marlon. Yeah, I know. First impressions matter. Blah, 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 whatever, dog. But think about it. When I have two scenarios where the first impression had a huge impact on sales. One, instead of sending out the minivan and herding in a bunch of doctors, you personally go out and pick up the doctor at the airport. And the second one by giving a really nice gift to new prospects. I can't remember if it was new prospects or new customers. I honestly don't remember. I think it was new customers. But it increased sales like 2.5 times. I have the book over here on my bookshelf. I have a ton of books, and I didn't really have time to go hunt it down and look through it. Maybe I'll do that on another live stream. With that said, this is really powerful method, and the ramifications for your business are large. Like, what are you doing with new prospects to wow them? What are you doing with new customers to really wow them, to create that really great first impression? Not just like you have a nice, oh, yeah, we have a good first impression, dog. It's all good, man. It's all good. No, I'm talking about like wowing them, right? And, I've heard about this wow stuff before. And you think, yeah, whatever. But when you realize it's actually tied to sales, then that changes everything. Like in any sales program you get, that's going to tell you, oh, you could learn all of these 70 textbook closes and double your sales, or you could just make a really great first impression. Nobody's going to tell you that. Nobody's going to tell you that, right? Now, I'm talking about like, a wild kind of first impression, because when Steve would go out and personally pick people up at the doctors up at the airport, that really created a great impression. And they felt they were treated special, and that's why they would spend typically a lot more money. I don't even remember what the dollar amount was. I think it may be a lot more than what I'm saying here on the video, but whatever. It's the principle that counts. The first impressions make all the freaking difference in the world. And if you want to double your sales, try it. Try taking whatever it is you're selling, and when people buy, do something to wow them. Try your prospects and wow them. Then track sales, split test it. Track the sales and see what happens between the two groups. The groups with the wow, the groups without the wow, right? It's a fascinating thing. So let's just take like a little example here. Let me think of so I have a client in our coaching who has a Botox clinic, right? So, you go in, you get greeted, you get seated, you go get your Botox, sent on your way, right? Well, what if when you came in, they had like a little gift box with a ribbon on it, right? And then you would open it up and there would be a book about anti-aging. There would be a trial of their anti-aging supplement. There might be, I don't know, you would have to brainstorm what to put in there. Some kind of a trial of some kind of facial thing, right? Which leads to like 2 recurring billing cells. The facial thing could be recurring billing, and the vitamins could be whatever they are, anti-aging stuff, recurring billing. Then you maybe got a book or 2 in there. But think about it. What kind of impression is that going to make? You could also have like a bottled water in there, right? It'd be great if you had your own private label anti-aging bottled water. How great is that? I don't know if it's legal. I don't know if it's legal, that bottled water that's called anti-aging. Probably not. Well, anyway, first impressions. Like, you take all the sales training in the world, nobody's going to tell you this. But is it easier to learn all of these closes and all of this stuff, or just to make a really wow them on a first impression? Now, I didn't invent this idea, but I hadn't heard it attached to actual statistics before, actual results. Dan Kennedy taught a wow box where you would send people a wow box, and he was Dan. If you knew Dan, he's a very intuitive marketer. He knew that would increase sales, but I don't know that he had stats on it. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I never heard the stats on it, but it makes sense in light of what I'm explaining to you right now. So think about your product or your service. What wow could you make? It can be something simple. Like, I'll show you a little thing Dr. Tom Orant sent in like a sales letter. He sent like this little book, right? In one of the sales letters, you came in a priority mail envelope, and it's just filled with testimonials, right? But that's a wow. You're like 116 dentists. You're like, wow, right? That's a wow. So what can you do in your business to create that initial wow. Maybe you send a wow box. Maybe it's a wow book, right? Dan would send and would have people send the wow box or the wow package, but he also believed in doing books like this one, right? Another wow is just like a little gift. Now, you have the stuff that's the three-dimensional mail, and it's okay, but it doesn't create any reciprocity. You send him a garbage can, a little mini garbage can with sales letter in it. Oh, yeah, well, that definitely gets attention. Maybe it's a little bit of a wow, but like you really can't use this little teeny tiny garbage can. Instead, one time, I'll give you the simplest example in the world. One time, Rev Ike sent me this direct mail letter. I don't know if you know who Rev Ike was, but he's a huge, massive direct mailer. Anyway, you opened it up, and inside his gift for you was a prayer carpet. And the idea was you would kneel on this prayer carpet and say your prayer. All right, well, anyway, you took this piece of paper out and you would unfold it and had carpet printed on it. I mean, it sounds really stupid, but think of it. A lot of people perceive that as a gift. That created reciprocity, and it was something they could use. They're like, okay, I'm going to use this blessed prayer carpet. Now, I'm sure people would comment on that, some things not so nice about it. I personally loved Rev Ike. I loved his direct mail. It was the best. I loved Rev Ike, right? But not everybody loved it. But the point of this is it was kind of like a wow that created some reciprocity. My question to you is, what can you do? What can you do in your business for prospects and for buyers that's going to create that wow effect? Split test it and track sales of both segments and just see for yourself what happens. All right, if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, there's like a little bell thing, I think, and that gives you notifications, and I forget. There's something else there you click to subscribe. If you don't subscribe, you will never get notifications hardly when I go live. So if you subscribe, you'll get notifications. All right, for those of you who stayed on to the end, I always like to do something special, for those of you who stay on to the end. This would be like a really nice wow to send to people. It's the beginning of the year. It's the 100-Day Goal Journal by John Lee Dumas. What a nice gift. Right? What a cool thing. Everybody could use a journal, right? And it's a cool freaking journal. I really like this journal. I use this. I need to start using it again right now. What happens is I use it and I stop using it. But it would create a really nice wow. That's your freebie for the day. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.